30 seconds. Right, you're live. Sorry, that was a bit quicker than I intended.
Hello everyone, welcome to Oxjam. I hope you've all been donating. My name's Jim H. Grutton and I'm going to be delivering a few of my whimsical anecdotes to you all, which are all character based. So I'm going to be kicking off my set with a poem which is about a mother's daughter who's got the hots for the local vicar down the road. I've only performed this once and it was back in 2018, so it's just nice to bring some fresh and deliver some fresh material. So here it is from her perspective. Me mum told me to find a man of my own, any type, but not too particular. I told her that I've packed my bags to run off with a local vicar. Oh, he's a handsome, charming gent. I love thee, I happily protest. Oh, I can't wait for Sunday to arrive and I toddle to the chapel to see him in his Sunday best. Oh, how I gaze into his eyes with merriment as I shroud with passion with the hymns. I look over the Bible to see his dazzling smile.
Sorry, audio's just cut out.
Right.
You'll have to start again.
Shall I start again? Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, that's fine.
The things that happen live.
Yeah, exactly. Right,
Yeah.
right.
So here is, I ran off with a local vicar. Me mum told me to find a man of my own, any type, but not too particular. I told her that I'd packed my bags to run off with a local vicar. Oh, he's a handsome, charming gent. I love thee, I happily protest. Oh, I can't wait for Sunday to arrive and I toddle to the chapel to see him in his Sunday best. Oh, how I gaze into his eyes with merriment as I shroud with passion to the hymns. I look over the Bible to see his dazzling smile as I give in to repent to my sins. Oh, how I could be married to a vicar. One day this magnificent church could be mine, living the life in religious matrimony and access to unlimited holy wine. Me mum and my friends would disapprove. They would snare and think of me as odd. But I could actually shout with pride that I've got my own personal sex god. Me mum told me to find a man of my own. I have one in particular. That's why I have packed my bags and I've ordered the cab to run off with a local vicar.
Yay!
Thank you very much. Well, I hope you're all having a fantastic time on this online viewing of Oxjam. Like I previously said, I hope you're all donating to this brilliant cause, and it's fantastic for everyone just to pull together in such uncertainty times. So yeah, without further much ado, I'm going to be performing another poem which I've not actually performed publicly before. I wrote this one, I think I was about 16 or 17. And it was a time when I was transitioning my material from being a serious poet to writing about wives getting pissed off, pardon my pun, with their husbands. And this one's about a wife who's got a dilemma of her messy husband, and it's called Just As I Sat Down. He's feeding the ducks, he's left the house a mess. I'll surely guarantee he'll try his best to come walking in with a grin on his face, helping me to everything and taking my place. He came walking in as I took a nap. He sniggered a grin as he took off his cap, offered me a walk on the Pennine Hills, and just as I sat down, well, he wants me on my heels. He'll make it all right and leave it all to me, and come by tomorrow, I'll be back on my feet. Thank you. So when I was in university, I was still trying to find myself. I was and still am a ditzy person. So most of my material do come from aspects of that era. And this is a little story which I tried to adapt into a little anecdote, but I'm not really there yet to. It's not coming basically through a poetic, artistic form. But I remember when I was going out to the shops and I came across this brand of what I thought was toothpaste. And anyway, I picked it up and I thought, oh, I feel like a posh bird with this new brand. Anyway, I was brushing my teeth with it and I felt that my teeth was kind of gluing together. And it had this kind of really sour, gritty taste. Looked in the instruction compartment, and to my belief, to this day, I only went and picked up Fixident. So yes, so I'm not at that age yet, but it is a topic which I've been trying to write into a poem, maybe in the future. So that's my Fixident story. But yeah, I just thought to share it with you all. Without further much ado, I'm going to be performing one of my current pieces, which I started performing this year. And it's about Doreen, who reckons that big knickers bloody rule. Doreen has heard they have returned in vogue. They are back to being cool. They may not be visually flattering in sense, but big knickers rule. She can't be doing with all of this provocative lingerie. They are nothing but a strand of string. They are only good for you know what, and that is a needless fling. She would rather feel adequately serene. It is more than she can say for some. For women that want to feel fabulous with material stuck up their bum. They slide between the orifice. They make for an uncomfortable grind. There is always a policy of keeping your unmentionables intact, and that is to be kind to your behind. So ladies, never mind trying to impress your fellas, or girls, you have to be kind to be cruel. They may not be visually flattering in sense, but by God, don't big knickers rule. Thank you very much. How are we all? You alright? Yeah? Gearing up? Oh, by the way, this coat, I was just standing in a gazebo waiting for my turn to come on, and I was given this beautiful fur coat by, I want to dedicate it to, is it Tarpan? Tarquin. I told you that I'd get the name wrong, so I do apologise. Tarquin. So yeah, it's lovely and warm up here, especially on this stage. It's like a sauna. So in February of last year, I moved from a little town called Batley. For anyone that's watching overseas, it's in West Yorkshire, England. And I moved to Leeds, where I currently reside. And I was renting a room from a friend. To cut a long story short, it was full of fleas and he didn't tell me, so he kind of ripped me off. And there's another story about what he did with my money, but I won't go into that. He's not watching it, I think. And if you look on my YouTube page, Jamie Harris Grutton, I've adapted some of these whimsical anecdotes into stop motion hand-drawn animation. So this is actually an animation which I released in November 2019. And here it goes. It's entries plucked from my journal and written poetically into a verse. It's called Fleas. I have discovered my inner independence again. Today is the move. I am going to reside in a city, in a terraced house, based on Wellington Groove. The top loft room is an advantage. It is perfectly quintessential. For a mature, developing adolescent, this is a sweet little residential. My housemates are admirable. My outlook is an analogue. The first couple of February lukewarm evenings, I slept comfortably like a log. But the too could be true state appeared. It wasn't the perfect amicable dream. Things started to slope into despair. They weren't as homely as they seem. The previous resident I am subletting from, he previously had a cat. The perfection of living, well, everything ended at that. When I exerted my independence, when life was becoming a breeze, now I'm covered with blistering bites. The house is full of fleas. I haven't slept well for 4 whole nights. My skin has become a feast. The irritable scratching at the bites, which are now the size of a beast. I have tried every repellent in existence to attempt to decrease the God-forsaken gout. I have blitzed the whole house twice every day just to get the bastards out. 6 p.m. the infestation manifests. I am living with this unbearable itch. Infuriated with the devilish pests, these fleas are such a bitch. There is always a reasonable policy of a strict no-pet zone, because of intrusive predicaments like this happen when I am bitten to the bone. I can't be having this with the time that I am here. I can't be doing with this until June. I don't expect to pay my well-earned money on a flea-infested room. The predicament will be subsequently resolved. The fleas have perished in vain. Now I can eventually reside in this terraced house I've been in from, wait for it, scratch again. Thank you very much. Now this is where I stick with my contents of my set, but I do improvise because I've got them all in my head and kind of pluck them out from my head. So I'm going to perform a couple more. I used to work at the Leeds Playhouse, which is also in West Yorkshire, UK, for anyone who's watching overseas, and I was a front of house attendant. And back in 2016, I was checking tickets to a specific show on the door, and this middle-aged man came up to me, and at the time I had a man bun, and I don't know if we were going through a midlife crisis, but he approached me and he just asked me, do you think this will be the trend on me? And I said, well, it's whatever your preference. And his wife was in the gallows on the door, urging him not to do this, because I think he was a retired man, but he was just lying about his age. Anyway, this is from his perspective, and it's titled Man Bun. I want to grow a man bun. I want to get with the groove. But the only predicament I have is that my wife doesn't approve. Yes,